Good morning again, guys. It's Phoenix. I figured I would go ahead and do our witchy room tour since I was already recording and coffee's sort of kicking in. You won't see me appear on this video because in order to appear, I have to be able to turn the camera around and it's just not working. So we're going to go ahead and just do the witchy room tour without putting my face in the middle of it. Sorry if this is shaky. I'm trying to keep this as still as I can and we'll try and get through this. So what you have here showing the top rack is basically it's extra stuff that I have. Mortar and pestles, storage items. The second shelf you'll see I have a couple of dolls and a picture from Charmed. I know it's not a real witchy show. It is, but it isn't because it's a lot of Hollywood entertainment with things, but I still enjoy the show. Down in the left corner over here, that is a doll that I picked up in a thrift store. I call her Rachel because that's the first name that came to me, and every once in a while you'll see Rachel seemingly to change her head position or her hand position, and that's why I keep her up there. She's by her cauldron, and over there on this side we've got the little elephant with his trunk turned up for good luck. Now below here, this is all art supply stuff. So for drawing or calligraphy or my glue is over there, things that I use for art. And then we come over here and these are a couple of paintings that are framed. This one here and this one. They're not really paintings, they're more like prints that basically sat in my husband's closet forever before he met me and he didn't know what to do with them. And since they were of, Merlin and wizardry, I figured it was a good place to keep them was down here. And then, of course, there's the door with my smocks for painting and crafts that I use. Of course, I kept the Halloween door knocker. And around my door, I've got fall leaves. There is a broom up here that I've had for probably 10 years. And my crow, which is kind of hanging down, needs to be put back up. And then we come over to this shelf where way up at the top you can see my phoenix, and I've got a couple of candles up there. The phoenix statue was bought for me by a friend of mine. And then I've got a bunch of obviously witchy books and another mocajete, and in this box where it says broom parking, I have my railroad spikes that were given to me by a family member. And then more books. And this little shelf down here I use for basically when I'm working with stuff. I like to turn on my salt lamp. You'll see I still have the finance candle sitting there because it's sitting there and I can't get out to give it to who it belongs to. So it'll stay there until this coronavirus thing is passed and we can come out of seclusion. And my messy desk. And then we come over to this shelf. And I've got some statuary and some dolls. Now this doll is my Cernunnos doll. I made him out of a regular Ken doll, and that was one of my art crafts. That was kind of fun to do. And of course I've got the three maiden, Mother and Crone up there, and Athena and Hecate. And on the second shelf we've got some more books, and then I've got, this is actually a, I guess it would typically be used for a dressing. But what I use it for is when I make oils. Because I have a really bad habit of making a lot of oils, like more than I'll ever use. So these jars are kind of small, these little test tubes and everything, like these. It keeps me from making too much. You can see, these are the bottles on the next shelf that I use for like when I make my oils and stuff. Look how big these bottles are. Because I don't throw anything away and I just use what we have on hand. But this is the size that it really should be, because I don't use a lot of an oil at a time, but then I wind up storing these huge bottles of oil. So, I don't know, it's crazy. But yeah, that's what the next shelf is basically just oils and stuff. And then we come down here and we've got some more books. And in this silver box right here, that contains a bunch of tarot. And then more books. And then down here I've got basically just paper storage for my art supplies and everything. This next one we have my husband's grandfather's lanterns. Seemed like a good place to keep them. These binders are all of my witch study. Everything that I've taken, any classes or anything else, are within those binders. There's also a ritual binder up there for when I have my rituals, just in print and in writing. This box down here was also my husband's grandfather's. It was a tool and die kit, and we he didn't know what to do with it. It just kind of sat around in the closet. So I brought it out, we cleaned it up, and now we put, like, you know, our chime candles in it, or you know, different storage things, pendulums. It's mostly candles though. And then down here, this is actually an art book. This is a book of shadows that I ordered from Charming Bear, which I should probably put their link on now that I've said that. But it's a really cool book. Let's see. It's red with a phoenix on the front, of course. The paper inside is a pretty good grade paper. So far, it's been pretty good. It does bleed if you use like a Scripto or anything like that. Pencil's fine, obviously, but anything beyond pen, like markers or anything like that, if you get one of these books, you probably just want to check for bleeding on a back page or something, just to make sure that you're not bleeding through. And then over here is my ancestor altar. That's a 3-tiered altar, and one day we'll do a video on that. And then we come over and we've got my bench. This is a pillow that I made out of an old t-shirt that when I went to Salem, I bought the t-shirt, and I might have gained a pound or two after I went to Salem, and it didn't fit anymore and I didn't want to get rid of it. So I just made a pillow out of it. And then we come over to this side of the room and get a better vantage point. And this was a cabinet that my husband had. It's an old armoire that basically just stored a bunch of art stuff in it. It was just plain storage. There wasn't really anything in it. I convinced him, well, it didn't take a lot of convincing, but we talked about it and decided to make it into my witch cabinet. So I've got all my herbs and stuff in here. See if I can get a light on. It's still kind of dark, but you know, general supplies here. That's a lot of my Santeria objects. I've got stuff from our property here. I've got all kinds of stuff in here, guys. This is a fully stocked witch's cabinet. And if I need something specific, I'll either buy it or find a substitute for it, because that's what we do. That's my Hecate altar, which I'm running right by, because I don't like to show my Hecate altar, because that's kind of a personal thing. And I have things on there that people really shouldn't be seeing right now. This, I'm going to turn. This is my working altar. This is where I do, you know, my moon celebrations, or specific spell casting, or gathering things up. It just depends on what's what. This was an old TV cabinet that my husband had, and we decided, or I decided, that it was going to be my altar. We've got the altar actually on top, and then down below has got storage. I've got Ouija board. I've got, oh, I see something here. Top was off my sage jar. And I've got a wooden mortar and pestle. Of course, you'll see them all over the house because I've got so many of them. And then you come over to this corner, and this is my book of shadows on a stand that my husband made. Looks a little dark, but it's on a stand. Can't really see. And then underneath over here, I've just got like my sewing machine, and down here is just my spot. Let me see if I can get another light on. Should be able to turn this on. Nope, not today. Okay. Well, anyway, just trust me. It's there. See? that's my incense. And then we come over here and I've got another cabinet. This we picked up one year at Big Lots. It was a big skull and we named him Frederick. Just because he drives my grandson nuts when he's out and his lights are on because his eyes light up and everything. It freaks him out. So Frederick stays in here. And then inside this cabinet, which is probably one of the best things that you've been able to see, we've got crystals and stones. Some of. We probably really need some more shelves so I could really space them out a little better. And I have more down below. We're always finding some kind of stone or gem or something. And right now I'm kind of on hiatus of buying them because can't really put any more on that glass. And then just storage down in the bottom there. And then we come around here, and this is just the laundry room with a wand on it. And we're right back where we started from. So that is basically everything. I know this is a little moving around. I know it might even make a couple people nauseous doing it, but that's it. That's my witchy room and the things that I do. I'm not going to really show anything else, but if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and list them in there. And yeah, so, and again, sorry about the need for the Dramamine for the seasickness. Have a great day, guys. Take care of each other and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.